I remember that night like it was yesterday. The moment I chose to lose everything, the moment I made a decision that I knew would break me, but I still went through with it. That night changed my life forever. But little did I know, it wasn't just the loss of everything that would haunt me. It was the quiet emptiness that came after, the questions that would never be answered, and the regret that would eat me alive in silence. Where are you watching from? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories, or please complete our 1,000 subscribers. It all started a few years ago, when life felt like it was finally falling into place. I had everything I thought I wanted. I had a career that others envied, a relationship that seemed perfect, and a future that was laid out before me, full of promise. But somewhere in the midst of this seemingly perfect life, I began to feel empty. There was an ache that I couldn't describe. No matter how many accomplishments I ticked off my list, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was slowly losing myself. I met her when I least expected it. Emily. She was everything I wasn't: spontaneous, fearless, and unapologetically herself. Her presence felt like a spark in my life that had been dimming for far too long. It started innocently enough: small conversations at the coffee shop, brief chats over work emails. But soon, the connection between us grew deeper, and I couldn't ignore it anymore. I was torn between my safe, predictable life and the undeniable pull of this new, exciting world that Emily offered. I found myself walking a dangerous line. I didn't want to hurt the person I had built my life with, but I couldn't deny the growing connection I had with Emily. She made me feel alive in a way that my current life hadn't in years. And so I made the mistake of thinking I could balance both worlds, that I could keep everyone happy, including myself. But as time went on, the guilt began to eat at me. Every moment with Emily felt like a betrayal, yet every moment without her felt like I was suffocating. I found myself waking up in the middle of the night, heart racing, wondering if I was making the biggest mistake of my life. Then one evening, as the sun set behind the city skyline, I made my choice. I walked into my apartment, knowing full well that the conversation I was about to have would change everything. My partner was sitting on the couch, looking at me with a calmness that only made the moment even harder. "What's wrong?" they asked, sensing something was off. I took a deep breath. The words were hard to find, but I knew they had to come out. "I'm not happy anymore," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. The silence that followed was deafening. The words hung in the air, heavy with finality. My partner didn't say anything right away. They just stared at me, as if waiting for me to explain myself, but I couldn't. How could I explain the whirlwind of emotions that had been stirring inside me for months? How could I explain that I wasn't the person they thought I was anymore? "I think we need to end this," I continued. "I've been thinking about it for a while now, and it's not you, it's me. I need to find myself again." I saw the hurt in their eyes, the confusion, the disbelief. I watched as they tried to process what I had just said, as they searched my face for some sign that I was joking. But there was no turning back now. I had already made the decision. That night, I walked away from everything I knew: my relationship, my security, my future as I had envisioned it. I chose the unknown, the uncertainty, and the pain. I chose to lose it all in search of something I wasn't even sure existed. For the next few weeks, I thought I'd feel relieved. I thought that once the weight of the decision was lifted, I'd finally be at peace. But instead, I found myself spiraling. The emptiness I had tried to escape now felt even more profound. I missed the stability of my old life. I missed the person I used to be. But most of all, I missed the one thing I had hoped would make everything worth it: Emily. I reached out to her, but by then, she had moved on. She had her own life, and I realized that my choice had cost me more than I had ever imagined. I had lost my relationship, my partner, and my sense of purpose, and I was left with nothing but the echoes of what could have been. I spent months trying to pick up the pieces. I traveled, I started over in new places, met new people, but the truth was, nothing could fill the void I had created. The guilt, the regret, and the loneliness hung over me like a dark cloud, reminding me that I had lost everything for something that never materialized. Looking back, I realized that it wasn't the loss of everything that hurt the most. It was the loss of myself. I thought I was making a choice for my own happiness, but I ended up losing my sense of direction. The life I once had was gone, and with it, the person I used to be. And while I've learned to live with the consequences, I've also learned the hard way that sometimes, when you choose to lose everything, you lose a part of yourself in the process. If you're watching this and you're struggling with a similar decision, I urge you to think carefully. Sometimes, the choices we make in the pursuit of happiness end up being the ones that break us. If you liked this video and want to hear more stories like this, please like, share, and subscribe. Your support means the world to me. Thank you for watching. This story creates a strong emotional connection with the viewer and builds suspense, keeping them engaged throughout. The ending encourages reflection and leaves a lasting impact, and the closing line prompts viewers to engage with your content.